I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it. Just, it's very challenging right now. Damn. Day 19 of posting a YouTube video every single day until I stop. And, it has been an interesting ride thus far since departing from the stability of my 9 to 5. Honestly, to this day, I'm still processing how I feel. I'm still processing how I want to move forward. I am still pondering what my life is going to look like in the next month, in the next 6 months. I have no idea what my life is going to look like in the next year. I would assess that feeling as being vastly more excited than scared. However, yeah, I can't deny the fact that there is a bit of uncertainty which causes fear, because uncertainty is a breeding ground for fear. But as I've mentioned previous in my videos, I do have a lot of inner confidence and trust and self-belief, and I think that is propelling me forward with my head up. With that being said though, I do feel like a constant nag of stress kind of living in the background of my life perpetually. And I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm alone in that. I'm not going to sit here and act like I am special in having that. I do want to become special in the fact that I conquer that, however. I do believe that majority of people have this nagging hum of stress. I don't know, think about it. I'm sure you could probably relate to what I'm talking about. If you live in the Western world, you're probably stressed. I can just imagine from my observations and interpretations. I can imagine that you're stressed. I am too, which I don't like. I don't like that. And I don't know what that can be accredited to. It's multifactorial. Like there could be a plethora of things that cause this buzzing stress in my life in particular. I think it's partially due to location, where I live, Vancouver. I am certainly not the most politically aligned with Canada as a whole, or how the mainstream media portrays Canada, and in particular Vancouver on the West Coast, very liberal. I don't even know anymore. Actually, I don't even know. Politics is it's so frustrating. But what I was trying to say in relation to my geography, I just feel like my mindset doesn't mesh perfectly with my geolocation. That's enough. That's kind of all I'll say about that. But I think you can read between the lines on how that would affect me and maybe even yourself. If you aren't aligned politically or belief-wise or moral-wise with the location that you reside in, that could cause, some anxiety or desire to leave / escape or whatever the case may be. And I feel like I'm feeling that a little bit. I love Vancouver, don't get me wrong. I love many, 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 many aspects about it. And on the other hand, I dislike many, many, many aspects about it, in all honesty. I think another factor to my buzzing anxiety / stress is my line of work. The work that I do. It isn't something that I can just shut off. It isn't something that I can segment out nicely. Actually, I don't know, that's not necessarily true. I haven't learned how to segment out my skill set just yet. I feel like I'm in a little bit of a gray area, in the sense that my skill set is my art. I would imagine that there's many other artists in my position who are battling with something similar. It's how do you productize, make your art efficient, package it up nicely, segment it out, deliver it in a viable way? I honestly feel like, I'm a full-time editor and I edit for a living. But it just so happens that editing / creating videos is my artistic expression. And I feel as though the clients that I work with historically and just people in general have a very difficult time understanding that this is my profession, yes, but it's also my artistic outlet. And don't get me wrong, it isn't my client's responsibility to recognize that. I'm just stating the fact that as an artist who sells his art as an income, it is very difficult to dance with that relationship between the two. I totally empathize with why majority of people don't differentiate between like work and art on my behalf. I wouldn't expect them to, but that doesn't change the fact that it is inconvenient for me to a degree. I don't want to sound like I'm complaining. I'm not. This is honestly just turning into like a video diary, which I'm gonna absolutely look back on this and appreciate. And I think there's value in understanding how somebody else's brain manipulates and walks through their own thought processes. If I was 16, 17, 18, 19, even 20, I feel like I would appreciate someone communicating to me in this sort of raw, unfiltered fashion. I don't know. That's my hunch, and that's kind of why I'm doing it. So those two reasons for my anxiety: my location and people not understanding my art for what it is. That's a big one, I think. Third one, my income isn't where I need it to be. It's not stable, and it's not of the quantity that I feel I would need to be content / safe / provide. It's not there yet. And I think that is adding to my stress levels. So we have location, misinterpretation of art / work, and income below where I need it to be. As well as I feel like I am not, although I work tremendously hard on my habits and my organization and my skill sets, I feel like they aren't where they need to be in order to thrive. They just aren't, which is interesting to say, because again, I do put a lot of time into it. But you know what the problem is? I put a lot of time and effort and energy into the things that I'm good at. And I wholeheartedly neglect the things that I don't want to do or that I'm bad at. And that's okay in your childhood when you can get away with it, because the things that you don't like typically aren't going to make or break you as a person or your family or your career. But as you get older, I'm finding that there are certain skill sets / duties / responsibilities that you have to do, regardless if you want to do it or not. And I'm carrying over my sentiment from childhood of, if I don't want to do it, I'm not doing it. And that's a problem. And that's something that I need to work on, and I will work on it. I'm just currently not where I need to be with that skill set. And I think that it is a skill set. That's causing me a lot of stress, because I'm not where I need to be with doing the things that I don't want to do. And I can just imagine that you might be able to relate to that. I can imagine. But if you can't relate to that, kudos to freaking you. Like, I wish. I freaking good on you for being able to push through that adversity of not wanting to do something. I can feel my North Star honing itself. I can feel clarity seeping into my mindset. I can feel it. It isn't quite there yet. I don't have a unlimited pool of energy pulling me in a certain direction like I have had at one point in my life. It's cultivating though. It's getting there. And I'm excited for it to get there. It's just as this kind of gray area happens in my life, this transitionary phase, it is just a little bit unnerving, given the fact that I don't have a compelling North Star, and then given the fact that for like all of those 4 reasons that I mentioned prior, it is making life quite challenging right now. And that's okay. Again, I don't want to come across as complaining. I'm just expressing myself here, because I'm not complaining. I genuinely love the life that I live, and I have amazing people in my life, and I have done amazing things, and I'm proud of myself. And I think that's, at the end of the day, you got yourself. You have you're in your own body. Like, you are you, and you spend the most time with yourself. And I'm proud of myself. I really am. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it. Just, it's very challenging right now. But I'm gonna freaking look back on this video and probably be like, oh, Ty, man, good on you for going through that so that I, older me, can live the life that I'm living. That's what older Ty is gonna say. Older Ty is gonna appreciate the hell out of the work that I'm putting in and the trajectory that I am gliding down. Gliding. I like that. All right. If you're still here, awesome. I feel like majority of you wouldn't have made it this far because this is a very journal-esque video, but that's all right because this YouTube is for me. It is for you. It's just as much for you as it is for me, which is where the longevity of this channel will come into play. That's a good point. All right. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing. And I will certainly see you in the next one, especially if you made it this far. Peace.